Well guys, I just started the evaporator. I just went and grabbed some coals out of the big stove, put them in here with a log just to get it going. I just wanted to see how bad all my stovepipe's going to leak because it's getting kind of rotted out. And I don't want to replace it until I build a new evaporator. So hopefully by next year we can build a new evaporator. But normally I put rope, the rope that seals the door around the bottom of this, but I don't have any more, so we're going to run it the way it is for today. Even that isn't perfect because you can see my stove has some cracks and everything in it. Hence that's why there's a fan in the wall there. Pull the smoke out of here. And the steam once it gets rolling. But 30 gallons so far. I went out after church this morning and the 5-gallon pail was running over, so who knows how long I've been running over. But we'll keep checking it throughout the day. So hopefully by the end of the day we've got 40 gallons of sap total, and hopefully that'll make 1 gallon of syrup. I don't know exactly how high the sugar content is this year. We'll know more once we get boiling it down. But you can see there's 25 gallons in this tank yet, and I put 5 gallons in the evaporator just to get it started. And once I get it rolling, I normally don't always use that fan there. That's basically just to get it rolling right now. It does boil faster if you have that fan running, but I'm in no real rush, so basically I just use the fan to get it going, or if we add more to it and the boil goes down, we'll kick the fan on to build the heat up quick. But I got some garbage in here to burn, so right now I'm really just trying to get some coals built up in there, get the other log going, and then we'll be rolling. So I'll keep adding more to this as we go along. It's been about 15 minutes. As you can see, we're starting to have some evaporation going on here. I do not have the fan going yet. I just basically had it running just long enough to get that bottom log going. So we are starting the process. Like I say, I have about 30 gallons so far, and I'm going to go back out and check that pail here in about an hour. I got to feed the cows and everything quick, and then go out there and empty the pail one more time, and then we'll come back and we'll probably crank the heat to it. I just don't want to crank a lot of heat to it right now because I got to feed the cows yet and do some things, but right here this is getting the water warmed up. Before I go feed the cows, I'm probably going to add another 5 gallons of water to this, or sap. There's 10 gallons in there right now, and really the less amount of liquid in there the better, because it'll boil faster. But we're in no real rush, so we're going to add 5 more to it and let that get warming up. So by the time I am ready to hit her hard, the water or the sap that's in there will be warmer. And then I have a small pan that I normally put sap in to begin with, and I put it back there on top of the pipe. That way it warms up a little bit before I dump it in. It helps, but it's not the greatest. Eventually when we redo the evaporator, we want to have this chimney pipe coming straight up, way up to here, and then go out. It actually might go out the end wall because the snow comes off and rips my stovepipe off. But I want to coil copper tubing around there and then put a tank up above where it can warm up that way. I don't know if I'm going to use a valve on it or if I'm going to just set a valve, a float valve, so it'll automatically keep it itself at the right level or not. But we're not that big into it, so I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I do need a new stove. And my original plan was just to modify this one, which is what I'm probably going to do. but right now my pan is 18 wide, and I can put a 24-inch wide pan on the stove. And then basically I just want to weld flat bar around it and extend it, and then get a 2x4 or a 2x8 pan to put on top of it, and then make it so where my chimney pipe comes out, it comes out the top instead of the back. It'd just get better draft going through there. So that's the plan eventually. I had planned on doing it this winter, but you know how that goes. So it is starting, I say it is starting to evaporate. So I'm going to add 5 more gallons of sap to that, and then go feed the cows. So stay tuned, guys. Here we are 45 minutes later. Cows are all fed. We've got some pretty good steam rolling off there, and like I say, I'm not pushing it right now. I can show you kind of what the difference is. Put my cover over my thing here, see if my fan will start. Well, sometimes it doesn't take very long to notice a huge difference just by turning that fan on. It really gets it cranking. Kind of looks like an inferno in there. Normally I don't run the pan this full. The pan is 10 inches tall, and most pans are only 6 inches tall. So the heat has to travel through a lot of water to escape the top, which this isn't a very efficient setup that I have, but it was cheap. I have literally no money into it. The fan, that is a fan that was giving me trouble that come off my big wood stove, so I just threw it on here. The wood stove I got given to me back when this was my shop. I have a little bit of money into the pan, but I built that when I was at the metal fab shop, and you can see that the welds aren't the greatest because I've had to fix some leaks over the years. Yeah, it's what it is. The next pan I'm gonna get is gonna be TIG welded, and it won't be as high, and the tops right here they're kind of bent a little bit, formed. Like I say, I don't know, I'd like to go to a 2x4 or a 2x6 pan. You know, I might just modify this stove. Would be the cheapest, just to add on to this one. Take this one over to the shop and weld up all the cracks. But it's, if you can see, we're getting more bubbles on top, bigger bubbles. But I don't always run the fan, because now you can see we're kind of getting smoke back in here. Normally I have a piece of insulation which I stuff in there instead of this piece of diamond plate, and then it doesn't blow smoke back out the bottom like that. But we've got all day, so it just seems like when you run the fan you burn a lot more wood. I don't know, it's probably a horse a piece, but I like the fan for getting the fire going, and then I shut it off and just let it go on its own. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's warm. So, but we are going to run up to the woods here in a moment and empty that pail again. Like I say, that I've collected 30 gallons so far. Last couple days I wasn't really running, so the first day was really good. The second day was mediocre, and really nothing since. So there was 5 gallons I collected yesterday. I emptied the pail about 6 o'clock last night. When I went out there at 11 o'clock this morning, it was running over. I should have checked it earlier, but with church and everything, it was hard to make it out there. So, and it's in the mid 40s right now. They're saying it's supposed to get up to almost 50 or a little over 50, so it should keep running good all day. What concerns me is it's only supposed to get down, I don't even know if it's supposed to get down below 40 tonight, so I don't know how good it's going to run tomorrow. but the rest of the week looks pretty good. So, and if we get 10 more gallons today, that'll make a gallon of syrup usually. So I still have, boy, I don't know, a gallon or two left over from last year, so I don't have to make a whole lot, but we'll see what we get. It all depends on how soon you get tired of cutting wood and everything. I have a lot of dead trees that are up in the woods that are dry that need to be cut up, so we never are very prepared for this. I don't do it every year. I've kind of skipped a few years, so I'm normally not prepared for it, but there's plenty of dry wood up there we can cut. And then with that fan, if you have a decent coal bed in there, you can usually burn wet wood too. So, but like I say, there's a lot of stuff out there that's down and dead that is dry that it burns really good. So, anyways, we'll be back with you in a moment. Well, we're boiling the first sap of the 2017 sap season. 30 gallons of sap collected so far, and we're going to go empty the pail again here in a minute and see what we got. So we're boiling down sap. Alright, so 15 minutes later, I went out and emptied the 5-gallon pail again, and there was 4 gallons in it. I emptied it at around 11:30, so almost 5 gallons in 2 hours, a little over, a little under. I'd say 11:30, and it's almost 1 o'clock now. So sap is really running today. You can see we're boiling pretty good here, coming on the 1 o'clock hour. So you can imagine how long it's going to take for this process. Just 40 gallons. My evaporator is slow, but it is what it is. Got nothing better to do right now. Too muddy to do anything else. It's even muddy just trying to go out to the woods to collect this stuff. So that's what she's looking like. Here you go, guys. Boiling down sap. Eating venison snack sticks made from venison harvested here on the farm, while we are boiling down sap to make maple syrup harvested from here on the farm. Pretty good stuff, Maynard. I was hoping you guys, there you go. It was running steady like that just a minute ago. I just took another 5 gallons out. So we're about 14 gallons for the day so far. But you guys can see in there, there's a lot coming down. Here's a whole big shot of it. So it's 2 o'clock right now. So there's another 5 gallons. See, I've got some ice floating around in there, but I'm kind of guessing if it keeps running like this, by the end of today, there will probably be somewhere between 20 and 25 gallons total off these 15 trees. So there we go. That's collecting sap one more time today. And I'll come back out in another hour or two and empty it again. Hopefully it'll be full again 2 more times. Tonight is only supposed to get down in the 40s, and tomorrow thunderstorms, so I do not know if the sap is going to run tomorrow. It may, just kind of trickle feed a little bit, but then after that it's not supposed to cool down very much. Tonight, tomorrow, and then into Tuesday, but then it's supposed to get down below freezing again and then warmer. I just wanted to run up here quick. I have not walked up the hill today just to make sure that there's no tubes pulled apart from the deer. It doesn't appear to be. And I can see it, but I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, but I can see the sap just constant flowing down there. So yeah, it's flowing really good today. And this is why I use the tubing, because this is not very fun walking on this muddy side hill. Snow is bad, mud is almost worse. So anyhow, that's what it looks like coming down through here. I think 1-inch tubing would be better because I have a couple air spots in here where I can get air into the tubing, and this still kind of vacuum locks a little bit. So I think like 1-inch tubing would be by far better. We'll see. Maybe we'll try and zigzag some 1-inch tubing down here, and maybe just run a 1-inch tubing straight down the middle and 5/16 coming off of it in Y's. Run across to catch all the trees, but it'd be real awesome if a guy could get 1-inch tubing and run it all the way to the shed. My trail's getting pretty muddy trying to get out here with the gator. It's doing a fair amount of damage to my trail, but that's the nature of the beast, I guess. I don't know if I prop that up a little bit if it's going to help. It's kind of, there's a low spot there, then it kind of comes up. But it's all going downhill. And, you know, with it being kind of like the vacuum lock, that kind of helps pull it down. I don't know. But I did add on to here because it's getting so muddy up here that it was getting hard to get up there with the gator to that one. So I added this piece of tubing on to get down here to where it's flatter. But like I say, I think we're going to use 1-inch next year. We'll save all this 5/16 for all the hookups and whatever. So anyways, there's 5 more gallons for the day. Alright guys, it's about 6:30 right now. You can see I have the fan on the bottom turned on, and we are really cooking with gas right now. Really, we're cooking with wood, but you know, that's how much that fan livens that fire up. I also have that exhaust fan running just because you can imagine how much smoke will fill up in the shed if I don't. We're down a couple inches yet. I have this little half-gallon stainless pot or steel pot that I use. I fill this with cold sap and set on here, that's extremely hot. Pre-warm it, and then I dump it in the back, and then of course I refill it with cold stuff and dump it back in there. I just came back in from emptying the pail out in the woods again. Excuse me. The pail out there was full again, so I have collected 15 gallons of sap today since the 5 gallons this morning, so really 20 gallons of sap today. So that would be, there was 25 plus the 30 plus 15, so 45 gallons of sap is what we have to play with here. And the sap was still running. Obviously it slowed down since it got dark, but it is still coming down the tube line. So there's about 15 gallons in here, and you can see my messy garage, and there is about 12 gallons in here yet. So you can do the math on there. 15, 25, 26, 27. There's about 27 out of 45. So that's about how much mine does in 6 hours. I have not been pushing it, and I've been burning wet wood. I have some dry wood, but as you can see, this whole pile of stuff here was a tree that we just cut down up at the cabin the other day, and it is a wet oak tree. So I have it cut up small, and I'm burning wet wood with the dry wood, and hence that's why I have the blower going right now, because I have a lot of wet wood in there. I'm trying to save my little bit of dry wood that I have. I have some there and some tucked over there, and there's some in the mess here. This, believe it or not, was clean here a couple years ago, but it's one of those areas where you go out there and work in, and then you kind of walk away and forget about it. But it is starting to boil again, so I'm probably going to push it hard here for the next 3-4 hours, and then around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm going to shut it off, kind of let it peter out on its own. And then I have a towel, a big towel there I cover it with so nothing can get in it. I put that towel over top of it, and then I have that piece of eave cover, or whatever you want to call it, there I put over top of it, so if a cat were to climb up here or something, they don't fall through or push the stuff down into it. And yeah, as you can see, that's what I have helping me. There's 3 cats out here right now. And the lawnmower that you guys haven't seen yet that I brought home from the cabin, or the lake I should say. And the old lawnmower, which is going to become my my brush mower. So this is what's going on. I'll update a little bit more here once I get close to ending for the night. Try and do an idea of how much is left in that pan. I'm really hoping in the next 3 hours to get that 12 gallons out of there, so that is empty and in the pan. Like I say, they're talking thunderstorm tomorrow, so I don't know. It's only supposed to get down to 42 tonight, so I don't expect to get a lot of sap tonight. So we'll see. It'd be nice to at least get that empty, because I may run up to the woods one more time around 9 o'clock, empty that 5-gallon pail one more time. But we'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do it right away in the morning. But that's what it looks like. You can see I've got some wet wood up there on the edges, kind of drying a little bit before I put them in there. Just trying to utilize all the heat. Me and my pan isn't the same width as the stove, but she's really toasty right now. I'm about 4 feet away from it and my leg's on fire. So that's what it looks like, folks. Like I say, I'll get back with you in a moment here once we're closer to the end for the night. See what we've got left in the pan. So alright guys, so we're 9:30 right now. You can see how far down that is. I could get a couple more gallons in there. I have half a gallon or so right there. And I just came back from the woods and the 5-gallon bucket was full again, and now the trees are, it's barely running, so I don't know if that 5-gallon pail will be half full by morning or not. But I'm going to run the last little bit of fire out here, and then there should be enough room in the pan for everything that I have left for sap, and then we will cover it up for the night and we will continue on tomorrow. So figure there's around 50 gallons of sap that we've collected so far, and by the time I'm done here in about an hour, there will be about 15 gallons left in the sap pan. And I'm just going to keep adding to that throughout tomorrow, because I think that, I don't know that the sap's really going to run much tomorrow, which is Monday. So I'm just going to leave what is in the pan in there through tomorrow, boil through tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we will empty the sap pan out, and then I bring it in the house and I put it on. I have another one of those, like that small half-gallon steel pot. I have a couple of those really big ones like that. I bring it in the house and that, and then I finish it on the stove, just because the stove is more, it's easier to control the temperature. So what I do is I get it right down so it's close to being sap or syrup, and then I draw off right there and I filter it as I put it into a clean pot, and then I bring it in the house and finish it. You guys will see when I finish it that I don't necessarily filter it again. So some of the jars have some sugar sand in the bottom, which I always just tell people that I give it to, don't shake the jar, and when you're done it'll just be some sugar sand in the bottom of the jar, which normally works. And that is a lot of the reason why I do not sell my sap, because I don't have a filter press, which works. You almost have to have one of them to get the sugar sand out. I haven't found a good way to refilter it once it's finished sap or finished syrup. It cools down too fast trying to fill up a quart jar, so like I say, I just filter it when it's coming out of here, and then we call it good. Been doing it that way for 8-9 years now, never had an issue, and everybody that I give syrup to never complains about it. So anyways, this is the end of day 1 of boiling sap down. So by the time I am done here, which I'm guessing about an hour left on this burn, I close my door a little bit, I'm getting Sparkies flying back in here. Figure we'll have boiled down 35 gallons approximately today. And only in the last 3 hours I've been running the fan, pushing it hard. So as you can see, I need a bigger pan. My pan is 18 by 28 and the top of my stove is 26 by 30. It'd be real nice just to have a pan even that fit the top of the stove, but we're working with what we've got. So this is going to be the end of day 1. So I am probably going to upload all these little clips tonight, edit them together tomorrow, and then get it uploaded so you guys can start watching this one. And I will just make more videos as we go along. So if anybody has any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. I will try to answer them either by commenting back or in the next video. And stay tuned for more of the finishing the syrup when we get that far. That will probably be its own video. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.